the Super Eagles will be keeping a date with the Crocodiles of Lesotho for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. We know that the World Cup in 2026 will be happening in 3 countries, US, Canada, and Mexico. And the Super Eagles who held their first training session right there at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium training pitch, where all the 23 players invited were on ground with Coach Jose Pizarro conducting that particular training for the Super Eagles, and that game will be coming up on Thursday, 4 p.m. Nigerian time, right there in the city of Uyo. This time around, they say, okay, we will not play in Abuja. Let's take this game to Uyo. So they had their first training section. The remaining players joined up last night, and the camp is complete right now as we speak, with holding their first training session. And also the Crocodiles of Lesotho are in town. They are right there in Uyo. They landed on Monday in Nigeria, and Tuesday they went straight to Uyo. So they'll be holding their own training session at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. But our concern is the Super Eagles, where they had their first training session, and a lot of the players, the likes of Kenneth Omeru, they are brimming with confidence. Shemi Ajayi, everybody is talking tough ahead of this particular Group C. Kanta they are lined up in Group C with the likes of Zimbabwe also in that group for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. And the Super Eagles say they want to be in the World Cup in 2026 because the last time out in Qatar, we were not there. Ghana defeated us. Okay, Ghana on away goal rule, we lost the ticket to the Black Stars of Ghana. All happened here in Abuja, where it ended 1-1. Thomas Partey giving the Ghanaians a lead before we had a penalty that was converted by William Truss Ekong, and it ended 1-1. We actually needed all we needed to do in that particular game was to win. But this time around, they say the mistake that happened in 2022 will not repeat itself for 2026. So it's a good thing that the Super Eagles players are talking tough, and it's also good that we have the players to actually execute this particular game against the Crocodiles of Lesotho. Because if you look at it on paper, the Super Eagles are far way ahead of Lesotho. But when it comes to football on the pitch, you know, these days the smaller teams are no longer small. They pull surprises. Football is full of surprises, and if you don't prepare well, the smaller teams will deal. We saw that with the Nations Cup qualifier. The Super Eagles lost to Guinea here, and though they went away to win the reverse fixture. So it's a good thing that the Super Eagles right now are not leaving any stone unturned, because they want to be, most of the players have, one of the biggest dreams of a player is to be in the World Cup, and that is what the players are saying. We want to be in USA, Canada, Mexico 2026. So beginning from, they will be playing against the Crocodiles of Lesotho, and then let's see the top teams will actually qualify for the World Cup. Okay, I have Abba Michael all the way from Plateau State joining me on the show 360 Sports on Trust TV. Michael, welcome to the show.
Yes, of course. Good morning to all listeners. We're so happy to be here. And of course, talking about the Super Eagles. Yes, this is it. This is the time. We missed out on the Qatar World Cup. We cannot afford to miss out on the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The missing out started from taking so casual games like this against smaller teams. We felt we could easily breeze past them, and then we now got to a point where we had to do permutation, and that was what knocked us out. So the Lesotho game must be taken as if it's a finals, because the target is the FIFA World Cup finals, and there is no looking back, there is no going back. The Super Eagles, everyone that is available has to turn up and bring in their best to ensure that we sink Lesotho before we move to Zimbabwe.
Yes, we think Lesotho before we move to Zimbabwe. We know that we also have a game against the Warriors of Zimbabwe, though they will be playing far away from home. They will be playing in Rwanda, Kigali precisely. Now, for the game of Lesotho also, they are talking tough. Most of their players are home based, apart from one of their players who plays his trade in the Chinese league. And now they say they are coming to Nigeria to surprise the Super Eagles. They landed in the country on Monday, and now as we speak, they are in Uyo also preparing for this particular game against the Super Eagles. Now, with the caliber of players that Cero invited, we know that all the 23 players are in camp already. The last batch of players joining them before their first training session on Tuesday evening. That training session started around 5 p.m. and it lasts by 7 p.m. So now, with the caliber of players that are in camp, are you confident with Jose Pizarro winning this Group C opener against the Crocodiles of Lesotho?
Yes, I am confident in him winning the Group C opener. The only challenge is sometimes his tactics can be very faulty, and it can easily make the Super Eagles to capitulate. I mean, we saw in their last time out against Sierra Leone, we saw some of the tactical errors he was making, and it's actually scary. Our confidence is still full that even with the second 11, we should be able to defeat Lesotho. But then the boys must approach the game, try and clean it up in the first half, do everything necessary in the first half, so that the second half can just be a cakewalk in the park. But I'm confident that we should be able to take down Lesotho.
Okay, you are confident we should be able to take down Lesotho. Okay, let's leave the Super Eagles. We'll be talking about a lot of women's football on the show this morning. And let's go straight. Let's start with this good news for the Super Falcons and Nigerians. Now, for the CAF Award, 2023 CAF Women's Award, Players of the Year, Nigeria dominated that award. I can tell you that we have almost 7 Super Falcons players in that award, and you know what it means when you have quite a number of players being nominated for an award. Out of the 7, you are sure that 2, in fact, maybe 4 of them will even come out tops of the award. We have about 7 of them. Let's quickly look at the 7 Super Falcons players nominated for the CAF Women's Award 2023. We have 7 Super Falcons players there. Chiamaka Nadozie, we have Asisa Toshola, we have Rashida Ajibade, we have the Michelle Alozie on that nominee. So we have about 7 of them. Christy Uchebe, who plays a trade with SL Benfica in Portugal, is also among the nominees. We have the likes of okay, let me quickly close some of the names that are nominated alongside the Super Falcons player. We have Ajara Unchot Unjoya of Cameroon. She plays for Internazionale, that is Inter Milan in Italy. We have Evelyn Badu of Ghana, who played for Alvadnez. We have Tabitha Chawinga, who plays for Paris Saint-Germain in France. She's from Malawi. We have Temua Chawinga, 2 sisters there. Malawi, she plays for Wuhan Jiangdad of China. And then we have Anissa Lahamri of Morocco, who played for Levante Las Palmas. And then we have Fatima Tagnot, Morocco ASFA in Morocco. We have Chizalen Chebak, the Chebak, you know her experience. They plays for Morocco and also ASFA Morocco club. And then we have Ibetsima Jaradi, who's a Moroccan player and plays for ASFA, but right now she's playing for Al Ahly. I think she's going to join the Saudi Arabian club Al Ahly very, very soon, alongside the 7 Super Falcons players that were nominated for this particular award. Now, for the goalkeeper of the year, we know that we have our own Chiamaka Nadozie in there. We have the likes of Ange Bawu of Cameroon, who plays for Bayelsa Queens of Nigeria. We have Dolores Hernandez of Masongo, who plays for Equatorial Guinea and Hurricanes. We have Imani Abdelhad, Morocco, SC Casablanca, that is in Morocco. We have Khadijat El Marichi of Morocco, who plays for AS FAR, and then Chiamaka Nnadozie, like I said, plays for Paris FC in France, and we have Andile Dalmini of South Africa, who plays for Mamelodi Sundowns. A lot of players, about 30 players that is nominated for this particular award. Out of those 30, 7 are Nigerian players. The 23 remaining players among other African countries. Now, Michael, what's your pulse about this?
First of all, I think Asisat Oshoala won it for the 5th time last year in Rabat, Morocco. This time around, it will be taking place in Marrakesh, the same Morocco. Nigeria alongside Morocco are looking like the giants of Africa for being able to dominate most of the categories. We also heard that Coach Waldrum, I think, was also nominated for Coach of the Year. And then I think Deborah Abiodun too, Young Player of the Year. Yes, of course, Asisat Oshoala had 21 goals, 3 assists in 28 games. So she looks like the favorite to, reclaim the title. We're happy. We believe that Chiamaka Nnadozie should be able to take down the field. I think she plays for Paris FC. She should be able to easily take down the field. And we look forward to it. Ajibade too had a great season. I think with Atletico Madrid, she had 9 goals in 28 games. So our ladies are making us proud. We also have other nominees for the different categories. And so I expect the Super Falcons to dominate. These CAF awards, when it comes to women football, is really gaining ground. And we are glad that even though our Super Eagles may not look like the giants of Africa, but the Super Falcons definitely look like the giant of Africa.
Yes, the Super Falcons definitely looks like the giant of Africa. We also have Uchenna Kanu among the 7 players nominated. Now, for these players, for the player award, we have Asisat Oshoala, we have Rasheedat Ajibade. Now, let's look at these 2 players side by side. Both of them plays their trade in Spain, one with Atletico Madrid Femines, and then Asisat Oshoala with Barcelona. Do you think it's going to be a very close battle between the two, Asisat and Rasheedat Ajibade?
Well, for the club side, Oshoala did better, but I think for the national team, Ajibade looks like she plays better for the national team. But Oshoala is a superstar. It's just like going in a Ballon d'Or contest with Lionel Messi. He will always beat you. He beat Neymar in 2015 when we know Neymar was supposed to win it. He beat Lewandowski 2020, 2021 when Lewandowski was supposed to win it. Of course, Virgil van Dijk also in 2019 was supposed to win, but Messi beat him. So it's the same thing. Oshoala is a superstar, so definitely she will be in favor. The voters will definitely favor Oshoala because she has the better season, because 21 goals in 28 games, while Ajibade had 9 goals in 28 games. So there is actually, I expect it to come easily for Oshoala.
Okay, you expect it to come easily for Oshoala. And for the goalkeepers award of the year, you already said that. We hope and we know this time around our own Chiamaka Nnadozie should be able to scoop that particular award. Several of them also have Tony Payne. We have Osinachi Ohele, who was voted woman of the match in one of our game against Australia in the FIFA Women's World Cup. So good one for all of the Super Falcons players that has been nominated for the 2023 CAF Women's Player Award and the Goalkeeper of the Year Award. Congratulations to all of the nominees from Nigeria and from other African countries. The event, the award will be coming up on the 11th of December right there in Morocco, precisely in Marrakech. That is where that award, the gala night, will be taking place. Congratulations. Also, let's not forget that Randy Waldrum was also nominated for the Coach of the Year. Quickly, Michael, for Randy Waldrum, he was nominated for Coach of the Year. Who do you think stands a better chance among some of the nominees that were nominated for this Coach of the Year? We know that the Desire Ellis of South Africa is also there. So side by side, Randy Waldrum or Desire?
I think Waldrum should be able to do it for the fact that he was able to lead a team to the Female World Cup without losing a game in regulation time. I think that speaks a lot about the discipline on the team, and they were just inches away from taking out the runners-up of the FIFA Women's World Cup. So that should give Randy Waldrum the edge.
Okay, that should give Randy Waldrum the edge over Desiree Ellis of South Africa. Okay, let's stay talking women's football. Now let's come back home and talk our own NWF kicked off on Tuesday with a mouth-watering fixtures right there at the Oluyemi Kayode Stadium, a history stadium for that matter, right there in Ekiti State, where the first team from Ekiti State ever will be playing in the Nigerian football club football matters. Now Ekiti Queens were ahead to a goalless draw by the defending champions of the Nigerian Women's League, that is the Delta Queens. It was a goalless draw right there at the Oluyemi Kayode Stadium, and one groundbreaking NWFL 2024 because it was streamed live on TV for the first time after 33 years. The league is now on our screen. They signed a deal a few days ago before they kicked off, and now we'll be seeing some women's football on the screen. But for the opener, that is between Ekiti Queens and Delta Queens, it ended on the goalless draw, Michael.
Yes, I mean, Delta Queens, despite being the defending champion.
Okay, we lost the audio right there. I think he will join us back when we can get his clear audio. Like I said, Ekiti Queens and Delta Queens, the defending champions of the women's Nigerian Women's Football League, that's Delta Queens. They played at a goalless draw, and it was a history-making game. For the first time, the stadium was packed full. A lot of spectators at the Oluyemi Kayode Stadium in Ekiti State, and Ekiti Queens became the first club side to play in the top-tier club football in Nigeria. That is for the women. The women are doing Nigeria proud, and now the women has taken the lead from Ekiti State. Ekiti United is there. That is the male team. They haven't played in the Nigerian Premier Football League. But for the ladies, now they got promoted last season after they topped their group in the NWFL Championship. They won all their games. They didn't lose any game. They qualified to the NWFL proper by getting 100% qualification. And their first game against almighty 4-time champions of the Nigerian Women's League, Delta Queens, it ended on a goalless draw affair, and it was a good one, fantastic one. Like I said, we had a lot of spectators at the stadium who went there to watch, and we have Nkechi Obi, that is the chairperson of the Nigerian Women's League, Ibrahim Goso, the NFF president, who was on ground also to watch that particular Ekanda at the Oluyemi Kayode Stadium in Ekiti State. And matches will continue in the Nigerian Women's League today. That is precisely where today, and we had a lot of fixtures that will be coming up in this evening. The likes of Nigeria Raiders of Abuja will also be in action. Nasarawa Amazons will be in action. A lot of fixtures to complete match day 1 of the Nigerian Women's League. We have the Royal Queens, we have other Osun Babes, we have other teams who also got promoted last season to the league. They will be in action this evening, beginning from 4 p.m. across all of the centers that has been designated to for these particular games. So for the Nigerian Women's League, that is up and running. It is match day 1, and Ekiti Queens and Delta Queens open the season with a goalless draw right there at the Oluyemi Kayode Stadium in Ekiti State. Okay, let's quickly now leave the women's football. I also talk about the MPFL. As we're talking about the men's football, we also talk about the women's football. We also talk about the men's football. Now, there are rescheduled fixtures in the Nigerian Premier Football League. This evening by 4 p.m., Doma United, we welcome Enyimba International of Aba to Pantami Stadium in Gombe State, while Heartland FC at the Okigwe Township Stadium, we also play host to Bayelsa United from Yenegua. So it's going to be it's a rescheduled fixture for these two games. These 4 teams that will be keeping a date, that will be doing battle with each other in the Nigerian Premier League. But let's look at the Nigerian Premier League table. Probably let's look at where these teams are standing on the Nigerian Premier League table. Let's see where Doma United, Heartland, Enyimba, Bayelsa United, where they are standing on the Nigerian Premier League table, and see after this fixture whatever happens in this fixture, maybe they will be moving or not. Now we have Lobby Stars, who are topping the table with 17 points. Remo Stars is on the 2nd position with 15 points. Enugu Rangers is on the 3rd position with 14 points. Shooting Stars of Ibadan is on the 4th position with 14 points also. Plateau United following on the 5th position with 13 points. Bendel Insurance is on the 6th position with 12 points. Now let's go straight to where Doma United is standing. They are on the 10th position with 11 points. Now if they win that game, it's going to be 11, 12, 13. They will have 13 points. Probably if they win it with a lot of goals, they will push Bendel Insurance to the 7th position and then occupy that 6th position. That is the way it is. Okay, let's look at the flip side of the table and see where other teams are standing. We have Enyimba, who are on the 17th position with 7 points. So if they win, they will go to 12th position and push Rivers United down to the 13th position. We also have Bayelsa United, who have 6 points. If they win, they will have 9 points and push the likes of Enyimba and Aqua United downward. And Heartland FC also, if they win their game, they will have 7 points and then maybe join up with Aqua United on that particular position. So this is how these 4 teams that will be playing in the Nigeria Premier League are standing on the table. Okay, like I said, we have the games will be coming up by 4 p.m. This evening on the Nigerian Premier League table. Okay, quickly before we go, we had some fixtures in the Women's Champions League that happened. We cannot stop talking about the women. We have some of our players. We have about 2 players from the Super Falcons that have been nominated for the Women's Award, who also were last night were up against each other. We have Rosegard women from Norway. They lost at home to Frankfurt Ladies 2-1, and then Barcelona Femino 5-0 bashing of Christy Uchebe's team. That is Asisa Toshola coming from the bench to score a spectacular goal. Is a goal of the year, for particular for that encounter. Then we have St. Pauline women 1, Brown women 2, Slava Prague 0, and Lyon Feminines 9-0 against Slava Prague in that particular encounter. Okay, that is where we leave it on 360 Sports on Trust TV. I will beg your pardon that we're having audio issues with Abba Michael. Now probably we'll sort that out and in subsequent editions. Okay, that is it on 360 Sports. I am Emmanuel Fashimi saying thanks for watching.